What's up, guys? Well, I'm out at one of my properties today, and it is the first week of May, and so I'm gonna get a gravity feeder set up here, kind of start supplementing some high protein. I'm kind of thinking just doing kind of documenting a kind of a mini series here, just my preparations, basically starting out at this time, all the way through the season, and just kind of have you guys follow along with me and kind of see, how it progresses. Because I'm trying to decide. I may end up doing a food plot in this area here. We've got a neighbor's property over there. Not really, it's a farmer, I don't really get much pressure into this, but what I'm thinking I'm gonna do here is I've got the road I come in on down to this, opens up to this this big pasture, and last year I had planted a food plot down into that area over there, and then set up the blind right here. But saw some younger bucks, nothing I was really wanting to shoot, but this year obviously they should be some pretty good deer. So we're gonna get this one set up, but I'm gonna change my strategy. I did notice a lot of deer last year that kind of skirted the edge of this this blind. They would come through this opening and then walk right up through here and travel up this road, or cut that back way over there. So I think what I'm going to do this year, and I think they were just doing that because the blind just kind of spooked them a little bit. And I should preface that with the more mature bucks did that. The younger ones, I mean, they'd stand there and eat, didn't really bother them. But what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to enter through the back side of these trees. That way I can get to the blind really without anything detecting me out across this property. But I'm gonna notch out these cedars, and I'm gonna put my blind inside of those cedars, because that is hands down the best cover that you can get. So for a couple reasons. For one, so it all blends in. For two, it puts me a little closer to where they're naturally cutting across here, and then I'm going to do a gravity feeder right here at the edge. But the other thing is, a north wind is blowing my scent out across this open pasture, which is not where the deer are coming from. So so really it should pretty much give me a huntable wind in just about every direction, with the exception of the south if the deer happen to come from that road, but most are coming off this property here and funneling it up through here. So anyway, we're going to get this this gravity feeder set up down here and start supplementing some protein, and get a camera on it and see what these bucks start turning into. So I'm going to kind of make this probably episode 1 for you guys to follow along on this journey, and we'll see if we can get a giant on this place that we can connect with this fall. So stick with me. guys, well, so I've got the Banks gravity feeder set up. Right now I've just got some corn in here, just to kind of get it rolling. And then I've got some high protein pellets that I've put out down here. So once we get them coming in here, I'll probably make a transition to high protein in this gravity feeder. But other than that, I think we're set up. I've got the Stealth Cam 360 set up. I'm gonna go clear out a spot inside there, put my blind, and we ought to have some movement in this spot here pretty quick. So, but this ought to be a good one. I'll be able to see them coming when the leaves are all off the trees. I can see them all coming up through this tree line and filtering up through here. So we should have a pretty good spot. So we'll finish getting this set up and on to the next. All right, so here's the other side. This would be the way that I'm going to enter through. So I'm going to clear out this little pocket here, and I'm going to set the blind right here in this spot. And obviously my feeder is right there on the back side of the vehicle. So I'll trim, a few limbs out right there, but I'll leave this all heavily covered in here. So yeah, I'll be about as camouflaged as I can possibly be in here. So anyway, we're gonna trim some limbs and get this set up and get out of here. Let me give you all a pro tip. Anytime you're setting up ground blinds early, make sure you're using, of course, I only have it off right now, but I'll come back and spray permethrin inside this blind, just so that wasp and all that, they love these dark hidey holes like this in the summer. So make sure that you guys spray these with some sort of insect wasp killer and all that stuff. So you'll thank me later, because it sucks climbing into a blind and it's full of red wasps. So we'll come into here. I'll get this set up, but you can see vehicle's right there. My feeder's gonna be right behind it. So I'll come in here and I'll make a little shooting lane right there. But that way I'm completely enclosed in here. So here is my setup. Got my gravity feeder right there. That's the road to come in and out. Obviously you can't even see the blind in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll come through, create a bit of a shooting lane. Just like that. I'll cut a few of these branches out of the way right here, and I'll have a shooting lane right down to the feeder. This looks farther than what it is, but it's probably 18 yards, something like that. Maybe 20 on the dot, but it looks about 18. I'll range it before I get all set up, but yeah. Anyway, that's how you fool the big ones right there. I think this spot, if I can get some giants in this area this year, I'll probably set up and use this spot quite a bit. So anyway, that's gonna be the first set of the year. Getting here and get set up, start getting some inventory on camera, see what we got. I know some pretty decent bucks made it through the season, so we'll move on to the next property and get another setup and cameras rolling and see what we got. All right, so this is from back where the deer are coming from, what they're looking at. don't even barely see the blind in there. So I think this is going to be a killing spot. So what I'm doing right now is I'm driving through this area to make a trail coming from that fence line. They already crossed through here, but just to make it even more of a path of least resistance. So this is going to be a money spot. Just need a big boy to start showing up in here, and we'll keep you guys posted what we start getting on camera.